Okay, everybody, you just finished the New World Advanced. How do you feel?
I really feel that just the fact that it was called the New World Advanced is just, it just really is that, because so much of the content was about the current world that we live in, about the politics that's going on, about social norms, and like especially with the good and the bad. And I didn't realize how much my choices every day, my thought process, my mind fucks are navigated constantly by what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing, that I had completely lost sight of who I am truly inside as a person, what I really want to do, what I'm really passionate about, and just locked in this cage of just, I'll just do what everyone else is doing because then I'll be likable, then I'll be successful, and then I'll look like this on the outside. And it just completely blew that out the water, where I feel like I've just come home to myself, and like this is just who I was supposed to be from the beginning without all of this influence. And it's just a gift that I would want everyone to have, to be able to just come home to themselves and just like also get the tools to be able to navigate the world that we live in, so that we can stay strong and true and powerful and not be distracted and influenced in the way that everyone is these days, unfortunately.
It's the New World Advanced, and I feel like my world has changed, and the way I see the world has changed, and the way I view my inner world has changed.
I feel alive. I feel alive. Who feels fucking alive?
I've been coming here for almost 10 years now, and this was incredible. We did almost 30 ceremonies, going all out. Everything was solved. I am so happy and blown away by this work, by myself, and this incredible group of people.
By the end of this workshop, this group was so dedicated to fight and so dedicated to absorb, and it's so exciting, this new work, that we were just hungry. Everyone was in the space for 30 minutes before the session started, all together, just like celebrating the new day, the new session, and it was filled with ceremony, like Tom said, and just blew us to pieces. At the end of this workshop, for me, it was the most empowered group that I've ever witnessed. The most empowered group of human beings I've ever been around. And everyone everyone completely shifted. And it feels incredible to be a part of it.
I feel like there's a whole dimension of the work that opened up that is really historical. Like there were moments in this workshop where I felt, wow, this is like one of these two defining moments of humanity. And we were like part of it. And it's like an introduction to an entirely new way of living and being.
I would say the new world, to summarize it, it brings you back to the world from before, brings you back to your basics, brings you back when you were a child, like when you were free, you were just whatever you wanted to be, you were not overthinking, brings you to nature. You just act on what you want to act and not overthink or have like blockades on it. It's just if you want to eat, you eat. If you want to do that, you do that. And it's a smooth process, it's very simple.
I feel like we are like on the cutting edge of where human history meets like the human future almost, you know? Like it feels like that much of a fucking shift. And it's almost like all the strings that were like dancing us around like marionettes in the past are like chopped. And like what was so cool about this workshop was just how like future oriented it was, and like what we're capable of doing when we have no strings, you know, when we're fully in control of all that.
I feel very similar, that my new world is about being myself and taking out a lot of programming that was like robotizing me, and I was just working on autopilot and didn't even realize, and this workshop allowed me to find what was underneath that, like who I really am. And it's going to be some work, but I've never been so excited to leave a workshop to go out into the world and be in it in a completely new way, like, to be myself and have all of the choices, because before this workshop, like my body physically would not let me make half of those choices. So it's like the possibilities, I could only start to imagine. There's so many more possibilities to my life now. It's super exciting. It's incredible.
I feel each year I come and a little bit more of myself is revealed to myself. And I see more of me and remember more things. But this year I was strategically peeled back each day. And I feel now I have a new default code, you say, you know? I feel like I am already, like I'm still like buzzing. But I feel like words are hitting me differently, and even small interactions with people, I'm just feeling very differently. So, I mean, this just feels like it's given me a new life, Andy, to be honest, bro.
This new work changes everything. Like, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, every aspect of my being, it changes. Every aspect of my life, it changes. Like, and I can't go into detail about it because, you know, I don't want to give it away, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's the way that I observe myself, the way that I treat myself, the way that I make decisions in life. I'm more excited than I've ever been for my life. Ever been.
Yeah, I feel like having this clarity on good and evil, it's also enabled me to trust myself in a way that I just couldn't before really feeling, what does that mean? Like, what is that for me? What is right and wrong for me, and why was I feeling all these things? And just having that clarity on it, it's like, wow, I finally know what it means to trust myself. There's no like dark corner that I get it. And I'm so happy and so grateful.
We can navigate things clearly now. And our bodies will tell us, you know, when we're making a wrong choice for us, because it's like, yeah, the answers are in the body, and then, okay, like, oh, I made the wrong choice, blah, blah, blah. And then you just course correct, but we have that, like, clarity now. And it's a huge gift. And I think this is the big piece that has created this new world perception inside and outside. I mean, it's incredible.
Really understanding what good and bad, right and wrong, good and evil, like really having the full picture. It's like both eyes are open. You can not just see like this one little course that is what you think you should do, but you can assess all around you, all the different options, and really feel for yourself like what's going to serve and what the best choice to make is. So I feel like that's why it's the new world, because it is a whole world. Like a whole world has opened up. Yeah.
Yeah, and to add to that, you know, we all come to these workshops because we all have happiness as our number one priority, and this new work with good and evil is literally a really, really important layer that is playing into all of this. And this is our 6th workshop, Bonnie and I together, and we've gotten so many benefits from doing these workshops, and they're accumulating more and more all the time. And I have no doubt that this new layer that's been revealed is going to be an absolute game changer. So it's like fundamental to everything.
What was the most exciting thing about the workshop for you guys?
Way to load up.
How long do we have?
As long as you need.
It was definitely getting the new pillars. I have never, I mean, there was maybe some things I enjoyed more, but it's up there of things that I enjoyed so much. Like, it was seeing Miki's, like, just giving us the descriptions of the new pillars that completely, like, go to the core of everything, and in a very tangible way and understandable way. Really, like, in the last advance, it was kind of like, oh yeah, it's a new, like, it's like a foundation to the pillars. But I feel like this time is even deeper, like really to the core of everything. And that, I am so grateful for, of having been able to be present for that and to feel that, and yeah, really amazing.
The most exciting part for me was probably realizing that I don't have to be a good girl. Like I've been like the goodest girl in the whole world, and what I realized is it's good to be a bad girl, and I can be a bad girl. And I'm not exactly there completely yet, but I can feel that there's a compass that I can follow to get there. So yeah, it was super nice to know that I can be a bad girl and like, I'm all good.
For me, I am living my dreams. I am living all of my dreams because of this work and because of Miki's and with the pillars, and like these new pillars are like incredible. I never felt that there was something missing, but when this entered the game, I felt complete. And I'm so excited about my life.
The greatest part about this workshop was falling in love with myself, truly. Like this was the first time in my life I truly fell in love with myself. And finding a way to stay in love with myself. So finding a journey that has a roadmap to stay in love with myself with the new pillars. And I think every ceremony slowly built up to that, and at the end I felt my heart exploding with love for myself, for humanity, for nature, for family, for my man I got married with.
She's my wife.
And I feel, so excited. It's just, like Bonnie was saying, I think that's so true, that I was only seeing that little road that had choices there, and I was making the choices out of the road that I could only see, but now I feel like that layer has been lifted, and there truly is unlimited possibilities and choices, because I can truly now choose who I am. I don't have this good and bad, or this invisible, like magnetic thing pulling me to some moral obligation. So, yeah.
Maritza, how are you feeling after your workshop?
Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept my love so young, so new. And time after time, you hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you.
What does it mean for you guys to be doing ceremonies in the way that you do here at TierraMitica?
I want to share, when I first did the Mythic Voyage almost 6 years ago now, and I was with Ayahuasca, and I've definitely noticed something, that the more that TierraMitica is going into ceremony without Ayahuasca, and the more that I practice this, the easier it's becoming. So yeah, it's been really amazing, and it's definitely, especially now, I can really say that it's just as powerful as with the ayahuasca, like actually, absolutely, to the point where even after we have the ceremonies, I go to bed, and at night the same, the images are coming up, and there's still things working through me in that same level of depth. And it's just, yeah, it's fantastic to know that it's completely inside of myself.
And to what Ariel said, I feel that it's even deeper than the ayahuasca because it's all coming from me, and I can go into these ceremonies anytime I feel lost, anytime I feel alone, or I mean I have the power to do it anytime, wherever I am. So I feel it's more powerful than that.
Yeah, I think it's way more powerful.
No hangover.
No hangover. And just as vivid, like, just as like, whoa, in your body, and you're really finding the answers within yourself, and it's so clear, like, you feel it, it moves you to tears, you explode, you know that what you see, like, you really, really feel. So they're a really cool way to explore your inner world and what you dream and what you want, and yeah, yourself.
Once you have done one of it, you know I can get there again, and once you have done many, you like can start inventing. Like, oh, I have an issue there, so you dive yourself in. It's like you have the power to just go look and search in yourself for the answers. You don't need someone to tell the answers. We have all the answers in us, and that's what we're learning with every ceremony, to find the answers ourselves. And that's what makes you empower yourself, because you're like, oh, it's the ayahuasca or it's a teacher. No, I found the answer, and I felt it, and I felt how sick it made me and what it does with me. And like, I don't want this no more. I'm gonna change this, and it gives you like this deep-rooted power, like, fuck this, like, I'm gonna change this, and then you take actions later on it, but it's like a very deep engraving, like, fuck, that's sick that I do this to myself, and then you change stuff.
Do you guys have anything to say about the intensity and power of the workshop you just lived?
Like, I've never felt this exhausted after a workshop, but because there was so much new stuff to take in, it felt like doing the first workshop all over again. But at the same time, it was all completely undeniable. Like, I took it in very easily because it just all makes so much sense. So I wasn't fighting any of it, like I wasn't in any resistance. It was just a case of like, oh my gosh, another thing that completely changes the way I see the world. And so, yeah, it was a lot in that changed everything, but it just made so much sense. Everything was so clear and so simple that it went in very easily. And I know it's going to be a journey after this to implement it, but I'm super excited because I'm so in agreement with it. It's just what is, and yeah, it's super beautiful.
The content that we're getting and the information, like, it was a lot and it was amazing, and like it was intense at times, but I also realized that in the past, say if we were going into ceremony or if there was an exercise and I felt like I had failed it, then I would just be fucked, you know, and I would be judging myself, being like, oh, you're not getting it, and like, look at all these other people. So for me, it was less heavy duty because I was more an observer of the things that were happening inside of me, and that kept being like almost pushed as well, like just observe, like, you know, there's no right or wrong, there's just, you know, observation of what's happening inside you. And so in that sense of just my own self, I was less heavy duty on myself throughout the workshop because I was trying to just observe without like the whip, you know, and just be like, okay, I don't like this about myself, I see it now, and now it's up to me to take the action.
Yeah, I really want to share that, like, this workshop was super heavy duty, and I felt that I got to travel through dimensions that were really uncomfortable, because it's just things that were never taught in school, were never taught even in life experiences. And if anything, school and life experiences teach us to stay away from these things. And for me, it was almost like heartbreaking at times to realize that actually these things that I've been like staying away from because I thought that's what it was the right thing to do as a person in society, but basically those things are my superpowers. And I also have to say that, like, you know, anyone who's done these workshops or like hasn't, whatever, You feel the power of the workshops. You feel how much you are pushed to dare. And so at times it can feel intimidating, you know, but like for me, it was just like truly feeling Miki's heart and how beautifully he carried us through this journey. Like, words cannot put into expression. Like, it was fucking heavy duty, don't get me wrong, but man, the way that he just weaved every thread in so carefully, feeling every single person in the room fully in his heart, considering every single person's life and everything that's going on in their life and where their resistance is and where they're more open, where the holes are to get in, and just brought in this incredible tapestry. But I just felt so safe. I felt so held by him. And you know, like when I get fucked and when I want to like be a victim to something in my life and I'm not ready to take full responsibility, like I see the person who's pushing me as my enemy. And I have gone there with Miki's, who is for me, like he's my family, he's my Papa Bear. And his heart just blows me to pieces, like the way that he carries us through this journey. All I can say to you is if you're an Argonaut out there who has any resistance or has felt poked by him and just like, you know who you are. Trust, because this man doesn't care about anything other than you being happy, like truly, and it shows, like, and do yourself that favor, like dare, because for me, this new work is groundbreaking for humanity. It's groundbreaking for the experience you can have in this lifetime. In this lifetime. You don't want to miss out on this, let me tell you, because it's some good stuff in there.
We only have one more thing to say.